Dear aviators, in this video I will take you on a cross-country flight through the breathtaking scenery of the Alps. After flying over mountain passes, glaciers and the main ridge, I found myself terrible low. I switched to survival mode, fighting for every meter of altitude, but still hopeful to reach a nearby airfield. Learn in this video about local wind systems late in the day and watch an exciting outlanding on a very short paddock. Welcome on board and enjoy. It seemed like a perfect day, with mostly clear skies, including good climb rates for a new adventure. The forecast was encouraging to pursue a dream, crossing the main ridge of the Alps from north to south via Austria, Italy, and returning back to Unterwössen airfield. A flight which took more than 6 hours in the cockpit and covering a distance of more than 400 kilometers through one of the most beautiful landscapes in Europe. We have been a group of pilots led by the legendary Jan Luševek in his K6 glider. For many of us, it was the first time passing the peaks of the main ridge and navigating through unknown terrain. Your subscription is more than a click. It's a vote for the content you'll like to see in future and encourages to keep producing more exciting videos. In meantime, it was late afternoon. I was jumping from mountain to mountain and still it was a long way home. I tried to speed up, looked for a gap to get back to the north side of the Alps and separated from the group. But a thin layer of clouds started to cover the sun and the thermals got weak very quickly. This is often the moment in the cockpit where a big gamble begins. How to make it home safely. Many cards are to be considered at the same time. Altitude, time in the day, distance to home, performance of the glider, but also the pilot's body and mind after a tiring cross-country flight. It was getting complex. The thermals have been too small or too weak for a glider, racing nearly 100 km per hour in a circle with a diameter of 100 meters. The following challenge was in my mind. Take it or leave it. Taking had two sides of the coin. If I catch it, I can win height. If I don't catch it, I lose height and time. Leaving also had two sides of the coin. If I continue, I might miss a chance of gaining height, but I get closer to home. Difficult decisions to take here. I was starting to check every 30 seconds for outlanding options in the valley and keep tracking them constantly. There have been many options, so no worries until now. This low, I needed to change my strategy, relying on thermals completely, and switch gear to survival mode. I remembered that the in-valley can develop a strong wind system, which sometimes lasts even after the last thermals run out of breath. If this would be the case, the same airflow may create a strong lee directly on my course. I waited, hoping that the sink would hit the glider and the theory would work. And indeed, I hit the sink and I tried my luck. If I would follow the airflow, it would hit most probably the ridge at the other side of the valley. This would mean I can buy height and time to make the next decision and avoid an early outlanding. I sped up, crossed the valley with a lot of hope but no guarantees at all. It was a relief to hit that weak lift, but not too much time to relax. Constantly I was keeping an eye on outlanding option. It was 6:30 and still 60 kilometers far away from home. My new strategy was to sneak along the mountain against the wind down the in-valley and fight for every tiny bit of ridge lift. I was running out of time and needed to push to the next mountain immediately. I had no idea what was behind, but I hoped there for a lift. Surprisingly, there was a paraglider. A little later, some birds showed up. Good signs of hope for a glider pilot. I was happy to have another chance to gain some more altitude from a weak ridge lift. Even though this was a small success, the numbers indicated that my glide path would soon come to an end. I constantly checked my options for landing, prepared at any moment to make a left turn and land. I set a personal limit of 300 meters above ground level to ensure enough time for a traffic pattern and to inspect the landing site. After 6 hours and 43 minutes and a flight distance of 359 kilometers, there was no reachable airfield nearby. Only a small paddock from a radio-controlled airplane club was available. This demanded my full concentration to safely bring my glider back to the ground. Lessons learned. Never give up and focus entirely on the challenge you're dealing with at the moment. Don't let your thoughts stay fixed on the idea that an outlanding is a mishap. Landing on a paddock is part of the experience. It's not a failure, but an opportunity for learning, and it requires all your available skills as a pilot. Take care of your well-being by eating, drinking, and relaxing during long-distance flights. Concentration is crucial, especially in these critical phases of a flight. When weather conditions get worse, start flying slower and safer early on, so you have enough time to look at your choices and make decisions without rushing. Moreover, an outlanding may lead to interesting encounters and pleasant conversations. Thanks to the RC Club of Kundl for their hospitality and assistance in de-rigging the glider until late night. Thanks for watching and take care.